feeling like I'm academics. Can't ride the wave.
And they've been saying I've been kind of mailing it in.
Oh yeah, 3.5 hour stream, totally mailing it
Mailing it in a little bit. So I'm streaming earlier in the year. I said I was going to do what we call 30 for 30, which means I'm going to stream every day for 30 days. And I said if I didn't do it by the end of the year, for each platform I stream on, which is a bunch, so 2 YouTube channels, Kick, Rumble, and even 2 Meta channels, I said I'm going to donate personally and like gifted subs or whatever, 5,000 to each platform. And not that I don't want to give back, but still, like, I feel like they consider me a liar. Yeah. You can't have your audience think you're a liar. That's a fact. But anyway, we're great. Here. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, I am at the studio. I didn't give it up. I know you guys are used to seeing me at home, but we are here with the lovely Lauren Conlin. I haven't gotten up with her in a while. Apparently, she was texting the wrong number. And
I mean, so you say, but no, I'm just kidding.
I was not curving Lauren. Y'all know this. Come on now. Anyway, I'm glad to have you here. So much to talk about, but I do want to know how you've been.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well, I've been busy. I've been good. Mm-hmm. I landed a job after the Diddy trial instead of freelancing. Yes, I'm now working for Los Angeles Magazine.
Oh, nice.
So I'm covering a lot of East Coast stuff for them as well as a few Los Angeles stories. But yeah, I'm trying to, grow the YouTube as well. So I'm doing a daily podcast there. Yeah. So everybody should, everyone should go subscribe to LA Mag's YouTube channel, which is Los Angeles Magazine Videos.
Yeah, you guys go definitely, go turn up Lauren over there. Like she's the head honcho. She's powering it up. She's trying to turn it up. You guys got to show us some support. Hey, listen, I think I speak for the majority of the chat. Well, really all the chat when I say they love your coverage. They have always appreciated your perspective. They like how, you're always really factual based and you don't miss any details. Like, when we went through the trial for Diddy, what we noticed is that we'd watch many different people, but you always had those really intricate details that kind of contextualize exactly what was happening in court beyond anyone else. So,
thank you.
I know they love you.
So nice. Oh my gosh, that's so nice. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. And, I was sitting in court today for Luigi Mangione, and it was a day, and it was
federal court or?
No, this was state court. So
you have your phone.
Technically, you can't have your phone, but if you're press, you can bring your laptop in. So I'll text from my laptop, but I was live tweeting most of it. And it was interesting because there was so much body cam footage that we hadn't seen before. And we got to see Mark Agnifilo and his wife, Karen, who's incredible. They're a dream team of a defense. And this is a tough case. It's not, a tough case for the defense, I should say, or in my opinion, just because there is.
This guy's guilty. Come on now.
I don't even know if it's about that, even though it sounds crazy to say that. My brain in this moment is all about what's going on now, which is the suppression hearings, which is where the defense is fighting to get.
This guy beats this thing, right?
What's that?
After it happened, and I do want to, obviously, I think you do an amazing job when it comes to like letting us know what happens in court. But I do want to hear some of your personal opinion today.
Yes.
Because after this happened, and I do think this particular case, if you guys don't know what case we're talking about the case of Luigi Mangione, the dude who shot the healthcare CEO guy.
Allegedly, yes.
Right? Allegedly,
you
right?
still have to say allegedly, yes.
Right? And I remember going to, I forgot how long ago that happened.
A year ago. It's December 2024.
Exactly. So I go to Christmas dinner, and I'm around my fam. And, I could tell that this case really pulled differently for the Americans watching it, because I was arguing with my own brother who was just like, yeah, we don't really know if he did it or it's not. But he was like, it's most likely a setup. And I'm like, yo, dog, this is kind of like cut and dry. And I get to realize also he kind of lacked a little bit of empathy because he was just like, you know what? Like, fuck these guys. You know what I mean?
I think it was shocking to me to see the reaction of, and not even, let's take Luigi Mangione out of it for a minute, but how many people were celebrating the murder of a healthcare CEO. And I want to be like, hey, dummies, is your healthcare better now?
Yeah.
Is your life better? Is your life changed? Do you still condone murder? I don't like that.
I think there's some people that they feel if they feel like they've been getting fucked,
Mm-hmm.
the people who represent the fucking, like, no Diddy, right? Like, literally no Diddy. But, like, the people who represent that fucking, they're seen as symbols of the fucking that's happening. And it's not that they are condoning murder. They're just saying, yo, listen, if that motherfucker's out the way, I'm not shedding a tear.
You know what's funny? I'm gonna find this and send this to you. But I did do a video with a bunch of his supporters last year outside of federal court where some of his supporters actually said more CEOs should be assassinated, and I was shocked at that. So I don't know. I would, I wouldn't categorize them all as, just being okay that, whoever did the effing was shot. She literally said more It's just crazy. Yeah.
I've talked to a bunch of people. By the way, Leaf, turn my mic up just a little bit. Yeah, thank you. So I've talked to a bunch of people who I think they're disdained. I think the question you asked
Sorry, I'm sending this link to my mom right now. Sorry, that's why I'm also
you gotta remember, I'm usually ready to go solo, like solo dolo, solo.
No, but
pilot,
I love you for it. So
me, I'm good. Like, but here's the thing. So there's a lot of people who I feel like they're so frustrated with the healthcare industry.
Totally.
That they wanted to stick it to the man. Now, what does that look like? For them, they're like, we want you to feel what we've been feeling. And honestly, I've never seen, it kind of reminded me of what I see often on social media. I see them rap. Because I see people say crazy stuff about me too. And it'll be like, I don't think I've seen people just say, I support murder, but they don't vehemently oppose someone they don't like dying.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like one of those.
I
It's
mean,
like,
we saw that with Charlie Kirk, the entire nation. It was shocking to me. And I think that it's just, I have no words for it. I cannot imagine celebrating or just, unless it's, and I feel kind of weird saying something like this, unless it's somebody that messes with like my kids or, whatever, I feel like there's not a bone in my body that would be like, yes, this person's dead because he had different views than I did. I just can't.
you're a good person.
Fathom
That's what it is.
But shouldn't that be not a good person? Shouldn't that be a normal person?
That's true.
Like not celebrating a homicide? I don't understand that, or an assassination.
Well, here's the thing, though. I do believe that most people these days, and I love, we're even going to get to some stuff about like that's happening in like rap court. I'll call it that. Because, but some issues that might affect you definitely affects me. In terms of, the idea of like coverage by independent media, right? And we'll get into that. But I do believe as independent media outlets have kind of like spurned and churned up, we've seen more radicalized views. So like when it was just like CNN, we kind of know where they would stay. And then Fox, we know where they would stay. Here's the thing. If you're someone who's like, who's on the right, you're going to have to be way more extreme than Fox to really get some viewers. So you get to realize the conversation is much more radicalized. And I've seen people now, in many cases, again, they're not going to just say they support murder, but they kind of support some extreme tactics. Like, they might be like, hey, we don't like for politics to be at a place where if we don't agree with you, you go to jail. Until it's the person they don't like, they're like, lock that son of a bitch up.
Of course. And
you get what I'm saying?
Anybody on either side who says each side doesn't weaponize the justice system when their party is, in power is full of it, in my opinion. And I also feel like this is when we tend to just go sour, is when you put the word far in front of anything, right? Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, we used to have moderate Democrats. We used to have moderate Republicans. Yeah. I mean, like, my parents, they're very conservative, but they voted for Bill Clinton because, you know what I mean? Like, it was just, it's crazy how
I voted for Obama and Trump.
Yeah, there you go.
My two niggas.
So there you go. There you go. So it's just funny how, I just feel like it's not great what's going on right now, in my opinion. I mean,
yeah, you're right. But as we're talking about this Luigi Mangione thing, and this is remind me, everybody on stream should remember, if you guys tuned in a couple nights ago when I was going over the Akash thing, that's the whole thing, but Akash's wife, was doing what I could only remember seeing in documentaries, but I have seen it on social media, where there are these women who are like they're fucking horny for this dude. Like, they're like, fuck if he's a killer, he's hot.
Yeah.
Like, are people showing up to court? Like,
yes.
Women?
Yes. And I mean,
wait, hold up.
Yeah, the September hearing, I talked to a girl who was there for 30 hours, waited overnight 30 hours.
For what?
To be in court and support him. Are
they having signs? Like what?
Well, there were signs before. There weren't signs today. It was gross outside. There was a couple signs yesterday, but
women.
I did. Yes, women and men with the signs, which I think a lot of the men are there for, the healthcare and all that stuff. But
he's got like a martyr something like that.
I mean, I definitely, the first time again that I was in state court this year in September, I noticed that they walked him out through the gallery and kind of made a spectacle of him. So there were pool cameras in the hallway, and so everybody got their shot of Luigi. And when he was walking out, he made eye contact with a lot of these women. And I could see that's why they go. They get that moment with him where they're like, pick me. But this
none of them
time,
are flashing him?
No.
Yo, I mean, come on. Y'all got to step it up in New York City.
No, it's strict. They know they'd get kicked out, and they would have waited for all that time for nothing. But this time, he came in just through where most of the defendants always come in, through like the side door that's sort of by the lawyer's table. And at one point, Luigi did sort of look out into the gallery. Yeah. But
he's choosing.
Well, he didn't have the best view of them this time, and they didn't really have the best vantage point to make eye contact. So, but it was a juicy day in court. That's the thing.
Work.
It was a juicy day. We saw a lot of body cam footage.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw Luigi eating a hash brown while and a sausage breakfast sandwich. Or
what is his body language? I remember the first couple pictures of him in court. He kind of looks a little confident, like, yo, I'm in this bitch, man. I'm good. Is he kind of getting broken down? They got to be giving him that moldy whatever food they get.
Well, yeah. I mean, today he looked a little tired today. I will say that. But it's kind of shocking, I guess, how put together and good he looks, and maybe it's just his age, but for being in the MDC.
Not you too, girl. Not you too. Oh,
wait, no, not
he's
like that.
He's looking good.
Okay, let me just say this. I feel like, when Diddy would show up to court,
he was looking a little rough.
Looked rough, and Luigi.
He had the Beijing.
Oh my gosh! I mean, Diddy, his pants were kind of too big. You kind of saw his crack a little bit. It was.
You're seeing Diddy's butt crack?
Not like his real butt crack.
He
but
might
like
have
the
been
underwear.
really flirting though.
No, trust me, he wasn't. No.
Diddy's a freak. Yo, I got to tell you about his documentary.
I'm so excited. But he's in his 50s, so you could see that he wasn't sleeping. He didn't look good. Today was the first day that I kind of noticed Luigi. He had a little bit of bedhead in the back.
He usually looked sharp and like.
He still looked sharp. He has nice suits, right? His suits fit him. They are tailored. They are the suit of a man.
Suits?
It looks like maybe his parents shipped it. It's a suit of a man who has the money and the means to have it fit him.
Wait, how you got better suits than Diddy?
I mean, that's a really good question. I don't know if maybe the
Diddy
defense
was trying to dress like Mr. Huxtable, Clifford Huxtable,
that's
whatever.
That's what I think. I think it was maybe a strategy play of him sort of looking schlubby and whatever. And, Luigi, he is very attentive. He makes funny faces, I've noticed. Like, he's always like kind of like, I don't know if you've noticed that in photos of him, but he's kind of always putting his hand up here and he's taking notes, and he's into his defense. He really is.
I ain't gonna lie, I was shocked when they did that little Batman perp walk when they got him off the helicopter and he was like this walking. I'm like, yo, this guy's gonna be lit when it comes to the movies.
I mean, do you remember Eric Adams was also indicted at that very time in December of 2024, and he's behind him in like his like coat, and I'm like, is this a 2-for-1 perp walk? Like what are you doing? I mean, obviously his indictment is gone now. Weaponizing the DOJ. Wait. Talk about that.
Wait, Eric Adams' thing is done?
Yeah, they dropped that.
We were supposed to interview Eric Adams, and I think he dropped out of the race.
I mean, I think it's clear he's getting a job with the Trump administration, in my opinion.
Oh, really?
At some point, I feel like it, or Trump promised him something. I mean,
when they canceled us, I was like, man, if you come do Big Axe Podcast, you're gonna win. You're gonna win New York. If you wanna, come on.
I mean, I was going to vote for him.
Really?
I mean, I was never the biggest Eric Adams fan, but then when I saw that it was, I don't want to get too political, but I wasn't the biggest fan of Mamdani. Curtis Sliwa was a complete joke, and I actually did vote for him in 2021. And so I ended up.
I like my politicians a little crooked. If you're too straight as you're lying or you're gay.
Well, then did you vote for? Oh no, you're Jersey. Sorry. Then
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. Then we had Cuomo.
When they told me Trump was cheating on his wife, I was like, that's my guy. That's my guy. I just know he's not perfect. Like anybody who puts forth perfection, they're a liar. They're living a lie. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like once I heard Obama was like a little gay, I'm like, all right, that's my dude. Still, it's cool. I like him.
Oh my God,
he was
so
smoking
funny.
weed, and you know what I mean. He was having some gay fantasies. It's fine.
Listen, I mean, yeah, to each their own. So, I became a huge Eric Adams fan overnight when I saw he started off shaky.
I don't think he did nothing wrong anyway. Hey, listen, I'm
guy.
not sitting in economy if the people from Turkey want to throw me up there in first class.
Yeah, no, and I agree. Like I hate to say it, but like all politicians are a little crooked. There's all this stuff that's varied, but it just depends. It depends on who's in office and who wants to take you down, right? So that's it. And it seemed like the Biden administration was really getting back at Eric Adams for just some of the things that went on. I don't know if you remember, but Eric Adams was asking for money and federal aid and with all the migrants, and Biden's like, so
yeah. Didn't he bust them illegal immigrants back? He said, "Yo, go back to Monterey or wherever the hell y'all."
I mean, there's the best like montage of Eric Adams where it's basically him
right back on the bus. Get back.
Yes,
go,
it's him
go.
contradicting.
Give him a chopped cheese while they're going. Peace.
Everything that he's ever said, it's like he says one thing, he says another thing. Like there's a clip of him being like, Andrew Cuomo is the biggest rat liar. And then the next clip is, I'm here today to endorse Andrew Cuomo. And then you're just like, what?
That's the nature of politics. Though.
Yep,
I love it.
Exactly.
I love it. Okay, so Luigi Mangione, he's up in there. He's kind of holding it down. Can we at least? I think this is going to be. First of all, will it be televised?
No, I don't think so. New York, I don't know the last time they've. I don't know if it's.
New York court doesn't do televised.
No, New York doesn't do anything like that, which is why I think people are like, "What's going on? What's going on?" But no, and obviously nothing federal will ever be televised. But yeah, New York State Court. Mm-mm.
Okay, what's the hoopla about this? Because, and I want your personal opinion. Suppression hearing aside, and I get it; these are formalities. You're going to go through it. The motherfucker killed somebody in Times Square. You're not going. There's no chance he beats this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, unless you get a jury full of
women.
No, people that are fed up with the healthcare system who say, you know what,
You think they would let murder go?
I think they could exercise their nullification rights and say, you know what, we acknowledge that he did it, but we don't think the punishment fits the crime. Which,
Can the judge say, well, fuck off, then I'm going to reject the jury verdict?
So that's a good question. I don't think a judge could reject that type of verdict, but the judge will impose the sentencing in the end. So, the judge could, impose whatever type of sentence technically that he wants. He gets pretrial, he gets all the, the recommendations, but that's the only way I can think of this guy ever seeing the light of day. But then you've got the federal case against him where they're seeking the death penalty, although federally nobody's been put to death. And I don't even remember the last time the government put anyone to death. So I think that's a stretch.
It's going to be the dude that killed Charlie Kirk.
You think so? Oh, no, but it's not a federal case. It's still a state case in Utah, which is wild. I thought it was going to be a federal case, too, because I was like, I thought it was, whatchamacallit? It was a religious act, or it was, but it wasn't. So, yeah, it's still a state case.
Yeah, Trump called for death for that, guys. So.
Right, and Utah has the death penalty, totally. But I think, again, for Mangione, it's like with the suppression hearings, if the defense makes their case, they could potentially get the ghost gun, everything in that backpack thrown out, the notebook with his writings, which, listen, I don't think it's going to happen, but they're kind of arguing that it was an unlawful search, even though we were talking about this in Pennsylvania. You can search somebody that's been arrested, detained in New York. You need a search warrant. You need to get you know what I mean? So it's like a whole thing. And these charges that he faced in Pennsylvania at that time are strictly Pennsylvania charges. But Karen Agnifilo, his lawyer, kept sort of pointing out, well, weren't you guys talking to the NYPD at this time? Weren't you, and the officer there, she's like, didn't you get like an honorary award from the NYPD as like an honorary officer of New York? And he's like, yeah. And it was, she did a good job. I will say that, in pointing out some of the flaws in their like they didn't take his McDonald's wrapper for evidentiary purposes to test for DNA, for anything like that. He actually said, oh, I didn't really think of that.
Yeah, they tripping. You left the Big Mac wrapper there, you wildin'. Hey,
yeah.
No, but okay, what you're bringing up is actually an interesting loophole. So if I'm getting what I'm hearing from you right, Mark Agnifilo and his wife are making an argument to say, hey, you guys went around standard probable cause by using charges that he's actually not standing accountable for, and you guys subvertly were communicating with the Pennsylvania authorities to skip the step, get whatever evidence you guys felt you needed, but based on the way you guys did it, it should not be admissible.
I think that's, yes, I think part of what you said, yes, definitely. And, I think they are doing everything in their power to also guarantee he gets a fair trial. It's tough for guys like Diddy, for Mangione, to get a fair trial when we're print from the start that's salacious, that's juicy, that will be attention grabbing. You know what I mean? So yeah, but no, you're right. And I mean, I think they're also trying to point out the fact that, like, you guys, they're claiming, this officer said he feared for his safety because, I just watched this guy shoot somebody, yet he's not securing the perimeter in the McDonald's. You can see, and Karen Agnifilo pointed it out, like customers walking here, walking there, and not.
These are things that would allow someone to like open the backpack or whatever.
Well, also, she kept saying, you said you were feared for your safety, but like the backpack wasn't really near Luigi. I think she said it was 10 feet away from him at one point. And then she said you also didn't move the backpack until, maybe it was 15 minutes into questioning him. So there was a lot. I get what she was doing. I totally get the whole, everything that was going on. But yeah, I mean, it's jury selection. We always say this. It's so important. It is so important.
Okay, so what's the timeline on the trial for this? Because this is pre-trial.
Pre-trial. We're not sure. I think after this, we'll have a better idea. But they do want the state trial to go before the federal trial. No, sorry. They want the federal trial, I believe, first before the state trial. Yeah, because, and I don't know, listen, I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but I believe because the death penalty is on the table, the defense is like, we don't want to give away our strategy to the government. Like, we don't want them to follow the state trial because of what's at stake. His life is at stake, right, for the feds. So, yeah, so they want federal trial first, then state.
Okay, what's the timeline on the state trial?
So he has a hearing in January, I believe, for the federal trial, and then we will see. But I mean, technically, just, like you're probably not following this, but Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz, who play for the Cleveland Guardians, they're a part of this pitch rigging scandal, this illegal prop betting
baseball
scandal.
Players, they can barely speak English. Of course they scamming.
Well, yeah, they're Dominican, but basically,
that's my Dominican, so we love you.
They just got arrested, and you are guaranteed, I believe it's 70 days from either your arrest or your arraignment to your trial.